Hello and welcome to Jaipur Dialogue USA. I'm Vibhuti Jha, talking to you today about the America's deadly romance with political assassinations. As we all know, we know that Mr. Trump has survived a likely bid on his life. Thankfully, the Secret Service and the security forces stepped in and he was taken away unhurt. He is in great spirit, as we know. He said that we will continue the fight and he will not pull back. Maybe some of you do not know that he is coming to Long Island, addressing in the same venue where Mr. Modi will be addressing on 22nd of September. That's beside the point. But it is very important to remember and thank God that political assassination did not happen, it failed. Couple of things which are very important. I take a step back. Few years ago, in a school debate on Zoom during the COVID time, there was a conversation about Mr. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi and his great life and his contributions to India. That particular debate was children from age 8 to 12th graders. And they all talked about very nicely about Gandhi's contribution to the American to the Indian way of life by virtue of non-civil disobedience, non-cooperation movement, and everything Gandhi has done. But what held my attraction or attention was that towards the end, 17 out of 20 kids said in one sentence, all 17 of the 20 said that Gandhi was killed by a Hindu fanatic, Hindu nationalist guy killed Gandhi. 17 out of 20. And I was a judge in that debate. And that was the time when I asked them the question that you talked about a Hindu nationalist killing Gandhi, which is true. He was a nationalist and he gave his own reasons why he did it. It was not an organized killing. It was not a killing done by direction or the endorsement or plan and plot by any Hindu organization. That man acted alone. He was the lone wolf. But why haven't you ever asked, and why don't we ever ask, who killed, ask the race, religion, color of people who killed Abraham Lincoln, who killed John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., and virtually succeeded in assassinating Ronald Reagan. You don't talk about their religion, their nationality, their color, their belief, or anything else. You don't. But you will definitely talk about Nathuram Godse because he was a Hindu nationalist. What about these people who killed four, including Martin Luther King Jr., and almost succeeded in Ronald Reagan's murder? That's what is important here to understand. Somewhere along the line, our country operates on political assassination as part of life. And remember one thing, we know about Mr. Trump one thing for sure, that he would be eliminated from taking presidency, and that the Democrats have been talking about it for a very long time, that we will not let him take the presidency in control. So much so that a very reputed congressman from Democratic Party said, even if he wins the election, we will not let him take the oath. They have gone to that extent. So you can imagine the extent to which Mr. Trump is being hounded out by the Democratic Party as if he is the actual threat to America. Now, remember one thing. The political rhetoric that the Democratic Party has done in collusion with the mainstream media has been that he is a threat to democracy, he will be a dictator, and the threat to democracy has been chanted, ranted so many times that it can definitely trigger or turbocharge a weak mind. It also makes you think that these people were just triggers or they were part of the plot. These are questions that need to be asked, even if we may not have an answer today. But these questions need to be asked because the second assassination bid happened when the first one thankfully failed by a quirk of, by the, to use the slang, whiskers of a mustache. Just Mr. Trump shook his head and the bullet hit his ears. Otherwise, we won't be talking about him today. So, this is the second attempt in the few months' time, just about a month and a half. This is a very worrisome fact. And it is therefore important for us to think about it. Why is it so? Is Mr. Trump such a threat to Democratic Party ideology, their agenda, or the plan? The answer could be yes, because he is clearly anti-Democratic Party policy plank on immigration, on Ukraine. Mr. Trump is on record telling in debate as well as in his public statements that he will make sure that the war stops soon as he wins the election and even before he takes the oath of office. He said that he will be able to stop the war. But there are people who are interested in continuing of war. And there are people on both sides of the aisle, and Mr. Trump, Biden and Harris have been rummaging through that Ukrainians must win. And this attempt, the guy who made this attempt has made significant efforts to mobilize army, people to fight in Ukraine. And he has been in Ukraine and he termed it the battle between evil and good. That incidentally happens to be our call. All our celebrations are about victory of good over evil. So this is what is important here to bear in mind. Was that man triggered by the slogans of the Democratic Party that Mr. Trump is a threat to democracy? You know, and that is what is making me wonder. And that they want to continue the war in Ukraine, and Trump wants to stop the war in Ukraine. There is a very important connect here. Thankfully, this man is caught. Let's know. We will find out. Just Department of Justice, FBI is investigating the matter. How long it will take, we do not know. But sometimes, as the saying goes, truth will come out. Now, there is another issue with this. I have a major issue with this scenario. When Mr. Trump took power way back in 2016, it was New York Senator Mr. Chuck Schumer, Majority Leader, who made a statement and a warning to him, to Mr. Trump, not to mess around with the intelligence agencies because they know how to get you 6 days from Sunday. This is on record. It's not my statement. This is Senator Schumer's statement. The question then is important to ask. What did he know then? What does he know now? Time magazine did a cover story after the debate performance was supposed to have been weak, that Trump is stuck on a golf course in a golf cart in the sandpit. He's looking back. Did Time magazine know something in advance? We do not know. Was it their absolute brilliance in forecasting that picture in a manner was a warning for whatever they knew? I don't know. There are so many things we do not know. And I will hesitate to speculate, but the truth of the matter is that somewhere along the line, despite Democrats running the country 12 out of 16 years, of which Trump was 4 years, they are still blaming Trump for all the problems. So the question arises, is he that kind of a threat to the establishment and Democratic Party? There's a food for thought in it. What is he trying to do that scares the blighters out of them? And that is, from my point of view, a food for thought for all of us. He has gone on record of bringing about massive changes. His advisor, Vivek Ramaswamy, when he was the presidential candidate, he openly talked about abolishing FBI and reallocating resources and people. He was warned by two FBI officials, husband and wife team, be careful. And they said, be careful twice. They can get you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in very interestingly difficult times where political assassination has become the last toolkit operation to remove your political enemy or political adversary. No, I won't say enemy, adversary. And we have seen this happen. The Democratic Party has done everything possible from talking rubbish about him, lawfare, trapping him in legal issues, and using convenient judges to entrap him. Now comes the assassination bid. This was also on the menu. Unfortunately, people have talked about that Mr. Trump could be assassinated. And after the first assassination bid luckily didn't happen, there was also the conversation that they will get him before November 5. We are in a deadly mess, and America is looking terrible in the eyes of the world. It is at least looking very bad from my point of view as an American. Not proud of this. Not at all proud of this. The Democratic Party will pay usual words. The political assassination has no violence, has no place. But there was another play in it, perhaps. Think about it. If Mr. Trump had been shot and killed in golf course with an AK-47, guess what was going to happen? In my opinion, they would have brought in the annulment of Second Amendment, the gun rights, and they would have gone ahead with banning guns, which is a constitutional right as of now. Merits on emotional part, I'm not even going there as of now. We will talk about it because a lot of Indians are upset. Indian voters are upset that why America has guns. But that's a separate matter. I studied it and I know the reason why it is there. But the Democrats would have done then passed the resolution or the law to ban guns altogether, to curb political violence and assassinations. Guess what? No Republican would have been able to oppose it. So there are layers and layers of thoughts that goes into this entire effort. And I think Mr. Trump has to be careful. He is not given the same protection Secret Service has demanded and asked and suggested that he needs to cover and protection just like the current president. So the ladies and gentlemen, Biden administration, which is Biden-Kamala administration, which is one of the weakest I've seen in as many years, is somewhere along the line, as Vivek Ramaswamy often says, is managed by a managerial class. These are not people who are in control of things. These are not people who will be in control of things. So when you go and vote, I would say keep your eyes open, look at the policies, don't be moonstruck by the name Kamala. If you are moonstruck by the name Kamala, then think about it. J.D. Vance's wife's name is Usha too. Why not be enamored by that? Think about it. Thank you very much for watching. As I always say, Satyameva Jayate, truth must triumph. And as I always say, for truth to triumph, you got to stand up for it. Thank you for watching again. And please like, subscribe, and support our channel. We value your feedback. Namaste.